why the flying fridge was the Clone Wars canceled. Dark Disciple is, again, amazing. This is, just gonna assume this is Dark Disciple since, like, again, this next part feels like it could be its own story, and because a lot happened in it, and it does feel like around the midpoint this is something, and some of this we saw in concept art and rough cut, but anyway, this is Dark Disciple. In this part, Ventress basically tries to save Vos by recruiting a bunch of bounty hunters, including Boba Fett and company. And meanwhile, Dooku's like torturing Vos, trying to make him his apprentice, and he finally breaks him by telling him that Ventress killed his master, not him. And that Vos, of course, tries to deny it, doesn't believe, but Dooku uses Vos's telekinetic powers to force him to relive Ventress killing his master. That turns him over. Ventress comes in, tries to save Vos, but fails in because Vos has gone to the dark side, so Ventress is forced to retreat and then meets up with Obi-Wan in the bar on Coruscant. And yeah, this was another really good episode. Again, a lot of good character relationships here all around. First off, I like the idea of bringing the bounty hunters back. I mean, everything on this in this arc, basically everything from the previous Ventress arcs is coming back here. It's all coming full circle. I like that. How the bounty hunter thing could have easily just been in, oh, we're gonna throw this away. Oh, here's a fun little idea, but no, it actually comes back and reflects Ventress's character. It makes everything Ventress's experience feel necessary, important, and leads to a tighter story. For one thing, here's Ventress sort of spitting in the bounty hunter's face, and it's showing how much Ventress has changed. I mean, the fact that, first off, the fact that before Ventress started off, she said she didn't need anyone, she didn't need help. Now she's coming and she's like, I need help. And more importantly, like, she's so desperate that she's willing to partner with the bounty hunters, who she kind of screwed over and doesn't like working with. And even to a point where all this money that, because Ventress has all been about money, that the fact that she's willing to give up Vos for it shows how, again, like, people more important than money. Like, and it's more, she's not rescuing Vos because this isn't about killing Dooku anymore. This is about rescuing Vos. And I mean, okay, compassion's like a weakness to Jedi, but the fact that Ventress cares about other people is sort of a new errand. It's also kind of interesting because the relationship with Ventress has with Vos sort of helps her become a better person, whereas with Vos, that undoes him. I mean, it was very interesting how the whole torture thing was just very grieving, and how Dooku exploited Vos's feelings for Ventress to lure him to the dark side. And it was also very to see Dooku just take everything Ventress was using, turns everything Ventress was using on Vos against her. Like, again, the Ventress's lie, like, that comes back to honor. Like, he uses that, the thing Ventress used to get him to kill Dooku, now Dooku's using it to turn him on her. That was, like, really brilliant. And also, again, it's showing the consequence of lying. Like, yeah, what would have happened if Vos, if you lied? And even the way Dooku makes him find out, like, the fact that he's like, first off, I like how Vos is resistant and hesitant at first, like, that's totally believable. And the way he gets him is very clever, by just forcing him to relive the experience himself and the feelings, like, so the pain and rage will fuel Vos. And more importantly, it's like, Vos's, like, telekinetic thing, that's his greatest strength. Like, that's his greatest assets. And I love how Dooku sort of takes that, Vos's greatest strength, and makes it his greatest weakness. Because now Dooku has a way of, like, proving to Vos without a doubt that Ventress did in fact kill his master and he wasn't lying to him. And the escape sequence from and the rescue of Vos was very well done. I mean, very good character dynamics as Ventress. It also just shows how much Ventress has changed. I mean, when she killed Vos's master, this was a Ventress who wouldn't hesitate to kill someone. Now this is a Ventress who, like, we've even going back to season 5, we've established that Ventress has sort of moved past the killing for pleasure. I mean, she doesn't kill anymore. Like, she tries to avoid it. Well, I mean, she kills, but it's more. Okay, she killed that one guard, but the point is that Ventress has stopped trying to use violence as an answer, and now she uses reason. Like, and she realizes that, you know, smacking around with Vos isn't going to help, which, and that's a thing Ant can do. Ant can be like, I'm just going to whip out the lightsaber. But Ventress tries not fighting him and talking to him. It's sort of going back to the Luke idea of how I can't face you, there must be another way. And again, this fight sort of brought out the softer side of Ventress and helped bring her back. It was also clever because it sort of helps push her away from the dark side, because now she's like, she sees what she could become if she strays too far. And now it's like, I don't want to be that at all. Like, that's what Dooku is making me become. That's not me. The only real thing I have to complain about, and I like the ending at the bar. I thought I was waiting for that time, and it's kind of a nice scene. I'm kind of curious to see where Ventress' relationship with the Jedi goes next, as well as how they rescue Vos again. The tension in the scene is about fighting Dooku is secondary to Vos and Ventress. That's where the core is. That's where, again, the tension lies. And I love how the writers not getting caught up in the Dooku fight. Like, that's something Clone Wars did a lot early on Season 1, which is that it would be like, the emphasis would be on capturing or fighting Dooku, and there's no tension there because we already have seen the movies. So it's how many times are we going to fight and get away? And I like how Clone Wars has evolved over time to a point where now it's not so much about that, it's about exploring characters. Again, I think the only real low point in this episode, this part of the story, again, was the action. I feel like the action scenes are something that are very much something I need to see visually. Like, reading about it isn't quite the same. I mean, especially just knowing just how elaborate Clone Wars was starting to get in terms of its lightsaber fights and action scenes. Like, I mean, we have this intense fight between Ventress and Vos. Like, all these bounty hunters start taking on Dooku, and, like, I saw a bit of it in Rough Con. They didn't mention it so much in the novel. I'm guessing because, again, it's action-focused, it's not central to story, and I guess she just wanted to focus on the relationship the bounty hunters have that Ventress has with Vos. But I'm pretty sure that's what would have padded the episode out. Like, you would have cut back to, like, the bounty hunters fighting Dooku. Oh yeah, major developments with Boba Fett. So if you don't know, there was an arc plan for Season 6 where Cad Bane and Boba Fett would have teamed up. And my guess is that arc toughened Fett up because he's like, I'm not the same guy that I was before, and I feel like this is the arc where that would have where Fett would have grown and matured. Also, he has his Boba Fett armor, and more importantly, he has the Slave One back, which he lost in Season 2, and we established in Season 5 that Hondo still had it. So, sometime between Season 4 and this, Fett got the Slave One back, and that's kind of a big thing not to show, especially when you establish that Hondo has it. Even when I saw it, I was like, okay, at some point we're going to see Fett get it back, and considering Filoni talked in an interview about how he had more plans to keep showing Boba Fett, and every time you're going to see a different piece of it. I mean, in this arc, we were finally going to get to see Boba Fett in the iconic armor. So I'm guessing at some point in the Season 6 arc, we would have seen him recover the Slave One. And again, this arc just feels like a tease because we're getting like nods to an arc that we didn't get to see, and hopefully they'll finish the rough cuddly Cad Bane and Boba Fett arc. Oh well. So that's pretty much all to say. Please leave your thoughts on the arc not the arc, the episode in the comments below. Like, dislike, subscribe, and this is JStar260, and until next time, may the Force be with you.